Hey, I'm Cam from Viewrail. Today we're going to review how to install your DriveTite cable railing system. DriveTite's a great system if you're looking to upgrade your existing wood posts. It's also a great alternative to our existing metal cable railing systems, if you prefer the wood and cable look. DriveTite comes in both a black finish as well as a brushed stainless, which today we'll be reviewing the brushed stainless look. It's also a versatile system that can be used on both your level and angled runs to complete your entire project. Before you order your DriveTite system, take a few moments to lay out your space and make a quick drawing to help you visualize the project and make sure you have exactly what you need. Plan the space out, your posts 4 feet apart on center. If your wood posts are further apart, you'll need our intermediate post to support the longer cable run. You'll also want to plan for the right amount of DriveTite kits. Each kit provides the components for one cable anchor. We recommend putting a cable every 3 1/8 inch to make sure that you stay within the 4-inch sphere rule for code. So for a 36-inch tall railing system, that would mean 10 kits. To screw into the wood posts on the other side of the run, you'll need 10 more kits, 1 for each hole. When you buy cable, calculate how long the run is and multiply it by how many cables per post you have. Then we suggest adding 10%, then rounding up to the nearest 100 so that you have extra cable to work with. Spools come in increments of either 100 or 400 feet. You'll need at least 3.5 inches of structural material for the DriveTite screws to anchor into. And you'll need a minimum of 3.5 inches for blocking materials if you are mounting express posts into a surface from above or fascia from the side. Once you've got it planned out, go to shop.viewrail.com to place your order. Each level DriveTite kit will include a receiver screw, threaded crimp fitting, DriveTite turnbuckle, a DriveTite receiver, and your DriveTite cover. Each DriveTite installation kit includes your multi-function hand tool, your 2-inch T25 bit, your DriveTite wrench, and for angled runs, you'll need your angled DriveTite Allen wrench of 3/32, and you'll need string for your post installation kits. Based on your order, you'll also have your spool of cable. The only other items you'll need are common everyday tools. You'll need your impact, your drill, painter's tape, tape measure, speed square, your drill block, pliers, a 3/16 drill bit, punch, Sharpie, and a pencil. We'll start by running a piece of painter's tape down the center of each post. This will protect our post as we mark and drill. We'll then need to find the center of each post using our speed square. Since I know this post is 3.5 inches, I'm gonna go and set my speed square up at 1.75 inches. I'll run that down the post and flip to the other side. 1.75 inches, and I'll run that down. The center of those 2 lines will be the center of my post and where I'll drill. We'll start by locating our top hole 3 5/16 from the bottom of the handrail. This will ensure that our spacing matches when using the intermediate posts. If you're not using intermediate posts, you can locate your top hole wherever you would like. You can then use the provided DriveTite wrench, which has pre-drilled 3 1/8 inch hole locations. This will be used to get your infill spacing from this hole down. The 3 1/8 inch infill spacing will ensure that you're well within the 4-inch sphere code requirement. Now we're gonna use the 3/16 drill bit to pre-drill for the DriveTite screws. Drill into the post about 1/4 inch deep. You can also use a punch if you prefer to locate the holes before pre-drilling. It's very important that you drill straight into your post because that'll dictate the angle of the cable infill. To aid with this, you can use your drill block. Set up your drill bit to go 2 inches into the post. Now we're ready to attach our DriveTite receiver with the receiver screw. To do this, we're gonna use our T25 bit and our impact. This impact comes with a stop setting to ensure that we're not gonna drive too deep into the post. I would encourage you to be very careful when drilling to ensure that you're not driving the receiver screw too deep. If you're working on a 4x4 nominal corner post, you'll need to modify the length of the receiver screw to avoid contact within the post. Once our receivers are set, it's time to go ahead and measure and cut to length our cable. We recommend measuring inside a post to inside a post. It's not crucial to be real precise because we'll be cutting off additional length later. One thing I find helpful is once you've opened your spool of cable, go ahead and place it in a 5-gallon bucket. This will help contain the cable as you're pulling the length. Next, we'll need to crimp one end of the cable. Once your threaded crimp fitting is crimped, go ahead and attach your cover and fasten your turnbuckle to the thread crimp fitting. You'll then enter the turnbuckle into the receiver and go ahead and rotate in a few threads. Leave your receiver cover loose for now, and we will fasten that later. Notice how there are plenty of threads outside of the receiver. You want to make sure that you also have it input enough that your cover is going to clear the end of the threaded crimp fitting. Next, pull the cable tight and go ahead and measure from the inside of the opposite post 1 3/4 inch. You'll mark that location and go ahead and cut your cable to length. From there, you'll duplicate the steps from the other side. Go ahead and input our threaded crimp fitting and crimp that onto the cable. We'll then slide on our cover and then insert our turnbuckle. While firmly gripping your threaded crimp fitting, go ahead and use the DriveTite tool on the turnbuckle to tighten your cable. Once that's complete, use the remaining threads on your turnbuckle to fasten the cover. You'll repeat these steps on all lines of infill. Once your infill lines are run, go ahead and tension from the middle, alternating to top and bottom until all of your lines are tensioned. One of the benefits of DriveTite is that it's a low maintenance system. The stainless steel components will last for years, and you never have to worry about scraping, painting, or staining. If you do need to clean it up, just rinse with water and wash with warm, soapy water. Use a soft cloth or sponge. Never use any abrasive materials that will scratch the surface. Over time, with the settling of your deck, your cable runs will tend to loosen just a bit and may start to sag. This is easily fixed. To retension the lines, unscrew the DriveTite cover, use your DriveTite wrench or crescent wrench to tighten each turnbuckle, then screw the cover back into place. And that's how to install and maintain your DriveTite system. To learn more and shop our DriveTite products, visit shop.viewrail.com.